Hello, Internet. This is Salient Points number 35 for August 20th, 2021. I'm Carlos Macias, your host of this here fine program. Make sure to go to wegotcoms.com to check out whatever we put up on there. We got reviews, we got previews, we got impressions, and we got this you can find all these episodes very easily over there, and we tell the people to like and subscribe right nowadays, since we got the video going too, and so it's me, Carlos Macias, along with my one of the co-hosts, Dalan Kirkwood from Up in the Mountains. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
That's right, we're dealing with stuff.
We're all putting out fires. We're recording a little later than per usual because we've been kind of on time lately, right? We've been kind of recording at the time that we say we've been recording. But
yes, except for today when we're an hour late.
Well, it's
55
fine.
minutes.
It's 55 minutes. We're doing all right. We also got Luis Mendez on the Wheels of Steel. Thank you for joining us again, sir. Look, we won't waste the people's time. We're gonna get right to it as we see Dalan enjoying it. Dalan, are you licking?
You're licking a Pringle.
Dalan, why are you licking your chip before eating it? I don't understand, man. It's gonna have the flavor, dude. When you put it in your mouth, it's gonna have the flavor. It's gonna be fine.
You do savor it more though if you lick off the flavor. But
I mean,
I'm out here licking the salt off the ruffles.
Ruffle.
I want to say I understand what you're doing there, but I don't. I really don't. You're really wilding out. Look,
I don't want to hear no crinkles.
Yeah,
in the post,
Dalan, no crinkles, man. What's going on over
down.
here?
Oh, you're definitely gonna hear crinkles. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna be eating around this thing. I got me some gummy bears. I'm ready to go.
Dude, at least pour them out, man. Like pour them out on a surface.
Pour them in a bowl.
Haribo.
Pour them out on a surface so you can grab them. You don't have to crinkle over here. Anyways, look, so we finally got the release date for Call of Duty Vanguard. We've kind of been talking about it over the last couple weeks, but we finally got the reveal trailer to it. As this fall is going to turn out to be the battle of the FPSs, as I call it. We have Call of Duty Vanguard now with the reveal. We got Battlefield 2042, no campaign, but whatever. I guess we don't need to hold it against it. And Halo Infinite as well. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, or if we talked about it, but one of the things that the developer for Halo, I think it's 343. I always say Bungie, and no one corrects me. So thank you guys for that.
I corrected you. I would have immediately.
Oh no. We could go back, and the many times you didn't correct me when I said Bungie, but I've listened to it after the fact. I'm like, it's not Bungie. But anyways, I believe it's 343. We'll get it right this time. They said that they're waiting to see what the other releases are, right? The other release dates. So now we have Call of Duty November 5th. It's going to drop. Battlefield has a release date as well, right? I believe. I forget what the release date for that is.
I don't remember.
No, but so we have one person. These two guys are really trying to avoid Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty has been the biggest selling game for the last 20 years, right? Except for, when Rockstar decides to be like, you know what? We're going to show you what's up this year. And Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 has obviously sold out Call of Duty. But now we have some dates. So Halo Infinite, we should be getting a date for it, I'm assuming. If this one's November, I could see September or October, right? If that game's ready to go. But the game looks pretty cool. As far as I'm concerned, they did the reveal trailer. They're going back to World War II. There's 20 developers that are working on it. There's it's a grip. That's just a hyperbole on my end, but there's a grip of developers working on it. They're working on a battle royale gunfight, which is I was asking you about it before we went on, Luis, but a gunfight, I was thinking that's you get the better weapon and then whoever wins, but that's not it, right? A gunfight, what would that be like? You just get a set of weapons that you go into the
they introduced it in Modern Warfare, so it started off as a 2v2, and they give everyone on the map the same loadout, the same weapons, same attachments, same lethal and non-lethal.
So what it would mean, what it would be, instead of you dropping and scrambling to find the best weapon you can find, everyone's dropping with the same set, right? I'm assuming. I don't think they gave too many details on it, but that means you drop with
the one you're thinking of is Gun Game, where you get a kill and it goes to the next weapon.
Yeah, which that would end kind of quickly too, right? And it's we still have 100 people here. you know. But gunfight, so they're working on that. 20 multiplayer maps day one at launch. I don't think they're probably not going to be all brand new maps. I doubt it, right? But that's to say, here you go. We have all the maps from everything, which is something that Battlefield is doing, right? They're like, you have all the maps, all the tanks, all the weapons, all the everything from, from everything. Zombie mode is being developed by Treyarch. It's supposed to be a quote-unquote global campaign that features 4 different playable characters and spans Africa, Eastern and Western Europe, and the Pacific. And they're also going to introduce a new Warzone map. Dalan, this one I was thinking about you, man, when I wrote down this little note. So for everything in the game, if the Warzone, the multiplayer, the everything, it's only going to be 270 gigabytes, Dalan. Only 270 gigs. But Tom Warren pointed out, he's one of the guys I follow on Twitter, he did say that individually it should be about 75 gigs, which that's still quite a bit, right? But at least if we can
quite a bit. You just said quite a bit. That is an understatement of the year.
but at least it says that maybe like me, I could play the campaign, enjoy the crap out of it, and hold that 75 gigs, beat the campaign, erase it, and then I can kind of dip into the multiplayer. Real quick before I move on to you guys, the reveal trailer, look, it looks hype. I'm ready for it. I like these campaigns. I always treat them like it's like the Hollywood summer blockbuster. I'm ready for it. I did see some kind of pushback online, which is fine. We can have a little debate about it, but people are like, oh, it's nothing to be excited about, same old. Like, that thing is kind of incredible, and honestly, I'm okay with same old. But to me, I'm pretty hyped about it. Even if it's 5 hours, I'm still gonna buy this most likely day one. Battlefield, not so much. Give me a campaign first. Luis, what did you think, man? The trailer or the details of the games so far?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Call of Duty has always kind of been that kind of game that I don't really need to know all of these details about it. Like, I know I'm going to buy it, I know I'm going to play it. Whether or not I think it's better than the last one, that's up for debate. But like, I don't ever kind of get caught up in the same arguments that these people do, where they talk about like, oh, whatever, this game's trash. It's going to be trash like the last one, blah, 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 this, that. They're still going to buy it. Like, I don't know why they're complaining.
Yeah.
Same deal with like the 2K games. People always talk smack about them, but they end up keep selling them. So like, what's there's
or Assassin's Creed.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a little out
Hey
there.
man, those are very cookie cutter games, and they
but I'm talking about yearly releases.
Yeah, we're talking about annual.
That's what they were doing.
They were doing it, but they haven't, and they even said they're not gonna do it for Assassin's Creed. But that's fair, Dalan. But look, I think it's a very fair point, Lisa, in the sense also that somebody put out a list. I think the guy's name is Matt Piscatella. He's like an analyst for this, and he's like, let me show you a list of all you haters that you guys hate Call of Duty so much. Why is it the number one selling game every single year? Besides what I just mentioned, Red Dead and GTA. When Ross,
I think I just saw a pattern. I saw that picture.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's kind of like, and there is, I think someone else pointed out on Twitter that was like, there's this kind of like ramp up of excitement of like, yes, new Call of Duty, they're doing this, and this, and then it drops like, I hate it, and it's like, yeah, but you guys are still playing it like months well into until the next one drops. So for me, you guys know me. I love my campaign stories, so I'm there day one. I know from all these three, Luis, I'll shoot it to you before we go on to Dalan's thoughts. But so there's Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo. I'm the most hyped about Halo Infinite still, but I'm getting Halo. It's easy though, because with Game Pass, you get it free with Game Pass, so that's easy. But Call of Duty, I'm getting day one, and a distant third is Battlefield 2042. But what about you, Lisa? Out of the three Battle of the FPSs, which one's your number one that you're looking forward to?
That's a confusing question for me in the sense that I love Battlefield.
Straighten it out.
I love Battlefield, but with the no campaign, like I just don't know. I want to put it as my number one, but it's probably going to be Call of Duty. And I'm so far removed from all the Halo stuff, as we've spoken multiple times on this podcast. I've never played any of them.
We gotta get you caught up.
I just don't.
We gotta get you caught up. We gotta get you caught up. Dalan, out of the three, and then your thoughts on the reveal, whatever you want to say on this, man. Which of the FPSs of the fall are you most hyped about?
The one that I'm most hyped about is Halo Infinite, because That trailer made it look way too good, and I know they're going to be switching up, or at least they're apparently showing you a whole new side to the Spartan. So I'm down to play that game very much. So.
Oh, we'll be
the other
down
ones,
with that. Yeah.
I mean, Call of Duty is Call of Duty. I know friends are going to hit me up talking about Dalan, come play some Call of Duty. I'm like, all right, play it for 5 minutes and get bored.
So did you saw the reveal of this one, right? Did it get you hyped, or you're kind of like, whatever, it's another Call of Duty?
Actually, for this one, I had a positive for it and a negative for it. The positive part is looking at the trailer. It started to remind me of the I think it was Call of Duty World at War.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. And World at War 2. I think there was a World at War 2. But the fact is, I really enjoyed that game, and this gave me a reminder of that. Okay, if there wasn't, that's fine. I just remember it being kind of long. But anyways, I enjoyed that game, and this gave me the feelings that I had when I was playing World at War. But on the other hand, I'm seeing all these different aspects to the campaign. I'm like, man, I'm not going to keep track of this campaign. I'm not going to know what the hell's going on.
Dude. No. Don't get me wrong, Dalan. This is not like a very cohesive story. Cold War, I barely remember anything that happened in that. All I remember is that there was a red door, there was trippy scenes, and I loved it. I loved the boom booms.
That was a great level, but the story overall was actually really good in Cold War.
It was nice, and it was
I didn't like it at all.
And it was 5 hours, and it was a nice little adventure. I liked all the big explosions. I liked that they took advantage of the PlayStation 5's, the little haptic feedbacks and all that stuff. So I liked it, but yes, I didn't really follow it that closely. So
that story is like, man, it's so compartmentalized. By the time you get to the end of the game where it's all supposed to converge, you're like, I don't remember anything that happened before this. What was it?
What's the last exclusive, man? It's not Inception. It's not that hard to
No. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're not like trying to. It's not that it's hard to follow, but they are all over the place, but it's not necessarily confusing either, I guess. I'm just saying, I was like, I just want to shoot stuff. That's all I'm saying. I was like, I wasn't necessarily fully paying attention to the story, I guess.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me. And the fact is, there was I think it was, again, Modern Warfare, the remake of Modern Warfare. I played the campaign for that, and I was still like, okay, the only thing I remember that happened is the Russian explosion at the end.
They all have little set pieces, right? And it looks like, based on what they're saying, we're spanning the whole country. So they're obviously like, you're in Africa now, you're in Eastern Europe, you're in the Pacific.
War stories in Battlefield 1, I think was the first one they started.
Yeah, I mean, even Cold War, right? Even Cold War, they kind of had you sort of back and forth all over the place and stuff, right?
But then the stories are supposed to converge, so they make sense.
Look. It's going to be boom, boom. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a lot of explosions. It's going to be great.
It's going to be boom, boom. It's going to be bang, bang. It's going to be pew, pew. And I'm going to lay down, shoot somebody.
It's like a Fast and Furious movie. Just know what you're going into, and you're going to enjoy it.
This time, you might be...
It's not about cars. It's about family.
And not only that, but this time you might be going to space. All right. So that's that. We finally got the reveal. We got the release date. I'm ready. My body is ready for that. The other thing that's popped up, this is a little small of a story, but I thought it was interesting because it was sort of a surprise release. But we got the Quake 1 remaster that's available for everything: PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox Series X, S, 1, Switch, PC, everything you can get your hands on. I think it's $10, but if you have Game Pass, it's for free on there because it's sort of a Bethesda game, right? I was trying to see, but they also released 2 and 3. I don't know if those are getting like the remastered treatment. I tried to look up some info on it. I couldn't find it, but for sure, Quake 1. And now this is coming 25 years after, so it's its 25th year anniversary since it dropped on June 22nd, 1996. It's 4K online up to 3 other players, so the campaign or the single player stuff you can play up to with 3 other players. Has local multiplayer, that Trent Reznor soundtrack. It has co-op crossplay. The bonus expansion from Machine Games, who Machine Games are the guys that did Wolfenstein, the last Wolfenstein games. They put an expansion on it called Dimension of the Machine. So I'm ready to kind of dip into this. There's a lot of games this week, man. You got the Ghost of Tsushima thing. You got the 12 minutes game that dropped, a little indie. So Quake might have to hold off for a little bit, but Dalan, will you join me for this? Or will you guys, because we could play co-op in this, will you guys join me for some Quake? Or do you guys
co-op
care?
How many?
Up to 3, so you could do 4 players. Up to 3 other buddies. dude, it's
make up your mind. Is it 3 or 4?
It's 4 players total. My bad. If it's a little confusing, 4 player totals. All right, 4 player total on this thing. So we could all get down with it. How do you guys care about it, Dalan? I'll go with you. Do you care about this at all, or?
If Luis wants to play it, I'll play it with you. Other than that, I'm not a huge fan of Quake. I know that Quake was big when I was back there playing Counter-Strike on the PC, but I didn't care as much for it. Everybody was talking about it, but I never touched the game.
And it was 96, right? So we're talking like post-Doom, not yet Half-Life, right? But it was kind of like, look, Doom was the game. And then Wolfenstein was pretty good, right? Wolfenstein, Doom. And then Quake, came out a little later on. And, I mean, we had Mario 64, right? Like a couple months later.
It's like I didn't need anything else.
Luis, what about you, man? Is this a big deal, or it's kind of like, Quake?
I know that it's a big deal, but I missed the Quake wave. Like that was way before I started getting into games. Like, really? And by the time it got on my radar, I'm like, this looks old as hell. Like, why do I want to play this?
It's like we missed the Quake wave. I missed the Turok wave, and I caught the tail end of Unreal.
Dude, I will say, I did try recently. I tried Turok 2, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is kind of cool. This is all right, dude. Like 3-4 levels in, you're like, this is some bullshit. Like, I don't want to play this anymore. But I will say this: I don't know if you guys have gone back and played like Doom. I've gone back and played through Doom and through Wolfenstein because I didn't grow up with them. I think at one point I had a neighbor that had it, and we would go over there, and be like, oh, this is pretty cool. What is this? A computer that plays games? Okay, this is interesting. Those are actually pretty good games if you remember, or if you go into it with the right perspective that you can aim up and down. You're just sort of strafing around and like your aim is set. If you go into it, they're kind of decent games, and they move stupidly fast. Like when I was playing it, I was like, this runs stupidly fast. These first-person shooters don't run like this. So I'm definitely down. I hope you guys will join me. I definitely will play it at some point, and we could, see how much you can tolerate it. I will say that. I'll put it that way. All right,
I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Also,
right?
By the way, it's I have to correct you on it. It's
Please.
Trent Reznor.
Oh yeah, look, I heard it when I said it. And Trent Reznor. See, I'm gonna say it again. Trent Reznor. He's from Nine Inch Nails, right? Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Same guy. Yeah. There you go. So the soundtrack is there. It's nice and pretty, 4K. You guys make sure to check it out. I hope you guys join me, but I'll probably check it out. I don't think I ever played Quake. So I'm down to try it out. Dalan, what's the big story for you this past week, man?
The big story for me is millions of players later, Outriders, or at least the Outriders developers, are still waiting for money. Like, I know they got paid to actually develop the game, but the Outriders developer, People Can Fly, says that Square Enix has so far failed to pay its royalties and doesn't know how many copies the game has sold. I think that's terrible. People Can Fly announced on their website the agreement with Square Enix meant that it would receive any royalties for the game's first quarter on sale by August 16th of 2021. We're past that, and no funds were transferred into their account, which suggested that it hasn't been very profitable for Square Enix. The speculation made by the developers themselves is that the revenue for the game's sales are actually lower than the total cost of what the production value was for Square Enix themselves. So this is despite the high-profile Xbox Game Pass deal and the 3.5 million players at the launch of the game on April 1st of 2021. And I think that's crazy that this game came out in April and the developers ain't seen no additional money, especially when they expected to. And this was like one of the top games that people were playing for a really long time on Steam, and it was being tracked of concurrent players. But I guess people just didn't buy enough of the game, or I don't know if there's in-game purchases. I didn't actually pay attention to that. But I know you, Carlos, you were actually playing it, but the first thing you did was because of Xbox Game Pass is pick it up on Xbox Game Pass because you were like, I ain't paying
Well, it's actually like it was the catalyst for me to like get an Xbox Series X. I was like, this is coming out. I would play it. I think the PC I have is powerful enough to run it. But it wasn't available for PC Game Pass. It was available for, and they were doing it on purpose, right? Obviously, they were like, we're making it exclusive for Xbox Game Pass. You can't. We don't have it on Game Pass per PC, right? But I think some of it, because we were just talking about a game last week, right? That the Game Pass actually made them pretty damn successful. And The Ascent. We were talking about The Ascent. That was like, actually, this created new revenue for us. It gave us kind of a, more of a platform, right? Of like, look, this game is pretty cool. People are playing it on Game Pass. I don't want to play it on Xbox or whatever, right? Whatever their thinking was, and they were able to generate money outside of Game Pass. I think specifically to Outriders, I think it's one of those. It's kind of an ugly game in a way. I mean, it's it aesthetically, right? Like the gameplay is nice. We've talked about how it's really nice to play. It struggles on the older consoles. Maybe that's part of it, right? It doesn't have as wide of a base that's playing it at a good enough level. And then you got the crossplay issues. You have like, is this Destiny?
Well,
like, it's kind of not.
Those, though. They fixed them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I want to say quickly. It took a week or two.
Well, and I'm just speaking of like the perception of it, Dalan, because obviously we're into it, and I'm still down to keep playing it, right? But I'm talking about the perception of it. I think to the general the general gamer audience, is this Destiny, but they're not doing expansions. They're not really updating it weekly. It doesn't have reset times, So you had to accept the game as for what it was, right? Even us playing it, we had issues with crossplay, but even as far as content was concerned, we were like, wait, this isn't like Destiny. This is like you finish it.
This
you're
is
good,
a game. It is a campaign,
and you finish it, which I'm perfectly happy with, right? But I think some people were like, maybe they blew through it, and they're like, all right. I mean, and it's kind of like you were saying, if they didn't put microtransactions in there, if there was no way to like kind of figure out other ways to get some more money from it, maybe this is what they're struggling with. But you did say they didn't make any money. Now, at least maybe you could correct me on this.
I didn't
but
say they didn't make any money. I said that it wasn't profitable yet.
Yeah,
and that's the question I was going to pose to Luis. So, Luis, I know you didn't really play Outriders, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so my question to you, just as a developer, do you think that the Xbox Game Pass would be a big reason why it wouldn't actually hit the momentous number of profitable to be able to actually pass out these royalties? Or do you think it might be something else outside of the Xbox Game Pass that was more of an issue?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one because was it Square Enix or what was the
Square Enix is the publisher and People Can Fly was the developer.
Yeah, because they're not really. Well, I know they won't do a public service announcement to us of like, hey, we didn't pay them because of this reason, right?
Yeah, they made whatever deal they made.
But you solved it, Luis.
Yeah, but we haven't heard anything from them, so it's all speculation at this point, right? I guess it all kind of comes down to whatever that Xbox Game Pass deal was it 3.5? Yeah. Oh no, that was the players.
Yeah.
So I guess whatever they got paid for that, and then I guess that all depends. I would assume it does harm sales to a certain extent, right? I mean, Carlos didn't buy it. I had access to it, and I never downloaded it to play it with you guys. So.
Yeah.
So hey, I actually bought it, so I contributed to People Can Fly. So People Can Fly, you can send me a little sticker or something like that.
Well, I mean, but that's just that's just how production works, right? I mean, they got paid, obviously, right? They were funded by Square Enix, or maybe it was sometimes it's sort of independently funded, and then the publisher comes in and helps out a little bit more. You could correct me if I'm wrong on this, Lise. But they do have to hit a certain threshold to start getting into those either bonuses or profits, because really this is profits wise, right? And it's like what Luis was saying was to that point is that Square Enix hasn't said anything. This is really the developers like, we haven't really made more past whatever they were expecting,
we put
right?
into it.
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of hope for the best, but sometimes you see this kind of stuff just not work out, man. Like I said, we like the game. I find it very enjoyable. The combat is great, but I mean, like I said, it's not that pretty to look at. It's aesthetically, it's. I can see why not enough people maybe downloaded it, because I think people, they have different deals. I think as far as Game Pass is concerned, I think they either do it based on how many players or based on how many downloads. And like Lise was just saying as well, like I didn't even download it and I have access to it. So maybe that was part of the deal. It's like, well, not as many people downloaded it, so why would we pay you guys that. But it's also as far as like we don't know what the deal, how that's constructed. You know, like the whole Scarlett Johansson thing. I don't know if you guys heard that
with Marvel?
she sued Marvel and all that. We don't know what the deal was, right? All we know is what she was saying was that it's like, yeah, they didn't tell me they were gonna release it VOD, and now where's my money? And then you have the little back and forth with Feige, I think, the guy who's kind of is in charge of the MCU, I believe, or something.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, and he was saying, he's like, she's probably making more. So you don't really know, right? Unless they really bust out all the actual paperwork, receipts. Right? The receipts, exactly. Or they do an Apple versus Epic, and everything comes out. No one's safe.
Okay, so for that particular story, it's just a matter of she expected more royalties, and she believes that she was undercut because they released it on Disney Plus. But besides the fact, I do want to clarify that even though they expected to be starting to get royalties by August 16th, or at least some sort of check that stated, hey, we made you money, it doesn't mean that they're not going to get a check. It's just it may take longer than expected to actually.
I mean, I would like to hope that this is all a big ploy from People Can Fly, and they're like, where the fuck's our check, man? Like, can you? It's in the mail. You know, like they keep telling them it's in the mail. It's in the mail. But yeah, we'll see. That you're right. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that for the company itself, even though it hasn't actually gained those royalties, they were still happy with the fact that the game had so many concurrent players and they got their notoriety from it. So they did actually mention on their site that they were actually publishing their own IP, and they were going to. They're developing another IP, and they're going to publish it themselves instead of trying to go through Square Enix.
I mean, maybe that's a part of it, right? This is kind of a lesson to them, right? That they're like, you know what, we'll do it independently, and we'll write our own check. We'll tell ourselves that the check is in the mail.
There's pros and cons to a big publisher, and sometimes you just gotta put out your own game, put out your own money for it.
Yeah. Luis, yeah, you get him, Dalan. Hey, real quick on the Scarlet thing, to put a little bow on it, I think it's interesting that it's like, it could kind of be either way, man. Because I saw the arguments, both sides. On like the Disney side, they're like, she has to understand it was a pandemic, but I kind of like the other side of it, that people were like, fuck that, man. You need to get your money, Scarlett. Forget all that. You know, they don't get any, you know, they don't over give someone cash or whatever. So it's like, no, get your money. You know, it's good that you're suing them. So that's gonna be interesting how that plays out.
She does have to support Colin Jost. I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Luis, what's your big story for this past week?
Yeah, so continuing the talk of big publishers, we got EA cracking down on Battlefield 2042 playtesters that are breaking their NDAs. So the playtest went live earlier this week, I believe, and shortly after on PC, videos started going up on YouTube. People were streaming it, and they were straight up just breaking the NDA, like they didn't care at all. Mm-hmm. And those videos were swiftly getting taken down. EA putting copyright strikes on and hitting channels on this, so you know, if you get 3 strikes, you're out, basically.
Yeah.
And the lead community manager at EA Studios Europe, his name is Adam Freeman, tweeted a series of tweets, and then on the end he put a nice little bow on it, and it says, break the rules, expect to lose access to both the technical playtest, future EA test, and potentially access to 2042 itself when it's released. Which to me was kind of surprising. I know there's some takes on it being like, oh, they're being too harsh. Like, what the hell? Just let them play the game. There was a beta earlier where people were putting videos and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Of, I think it was Halo or something, right? Like the week before. Yeah. But it's like, to me, this is actually a really surprising move on EA's part, that they're usually seen as like the Grinch of the game publishers,
and it's like they're doubling down, right? With this, they're like, yeah, we whatever.
No, because they could sue them for this. Like, they're breaking the NDAs, right? And they're actually being extremely soft and saying, hey guys, just don't do it. If you keep doing it, we're going to ban you from the game.
Because they're giving them strikes instead of outright doing it, right?
Well, if someone's like streaming the game or something, yeah.
Okay.
But if it's just like some person on Twitter that shared a screenshot or a video of it, then, you know, they could sue that. They could sue any of these people. But they decided to just kind of give them a slap on the wrist.
You know, I like that you say that you to you it's like they're being soft. To me, I feel like they're being a little harsh. Like the fact that I understand. Like, look, if you sign an NDA and like for us on We Got Comms, like I take it pretty seriously. I like if they tell us this is the time it can go up, it'll go up after that point, right? And we respected every single NDA that we've, or is it NDA? No, more like what do they call it? Embargo, yeah. Right? The embargo. But if we get an NDA, you got to respect it, right? Or otherwise don't accept it, right? Otherwise you're like, whatever comes my way, I'm gonna report it because I didn't accept it. But it's also kind of like a lot of people have access to this, right? So it's kind of like if you don't want it to leak out, then don't even make it available, right? And you were mentioning about the Halo thing. These things were getting out, right? And 343 or Microsoft was like, okay, we don't necessarily like it, but it's more publicity. It's more why people are pretty damn hyped about Halo Infinite because of that. Because now it's no longer all about Craig and how low quality his graphics are. It's more about like, look at the gameplay coming out of it.
Yeah, but were the Halo things specifically NDAs, or was it just like a beta test invite? Because that's the difference.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah. I okay, yeah. That makes. Yeah, you're making some fair points. You're making some fair points.
Carlos is processing that one. I'm seeing Carlos.
I'm processing because it's a it's a salient point. It's a very salient point because
that's the law, man.
It's a long. Hey, this is the long arm of the. Yeah, but
another salient point.
Yeah, but we can't say NDAs haven't been broken and people are like, whatever.
But normally when NDAs are broken, it's because people recognize that they're about to break that NDA and they're ready to suffer the consequences. In this particular case, it seems like a lot of people were breaking the NDA without realizing that they were breaking the NDA.
No, I don't know if that's.
So they were giving them a second chance. Well, I feel that way about it because it was so many all at once. Normally, when somebody breaks an NDA, it's like one or two people, but this one is like, I don't know, it was like 30 people or something like that. It was a very high number for any NDA, and their EA's response to it, I believe, was actually a more proper response than anything, because you're still a company, you still need to make money, you still need to protect your investment, and if part of that investment is trying to build hype off the exclusivity of the videos and pictures that are going to be shown, then protect that asset. Don't just let it flow out.
But I think it's fair to make the distinction, like Lise was saying, like, and this one, it's like a play test, right? It's not a general beta that, hey, try not to share too many things, right? So this one, I can understand that, but hey, I do like where we're at though here. Lise says they're being really soft. I feel like they're being harsh, and Dalan says the porridge is right about the right temperature. But yeah, I mean that's definitely a thing to think about. It's like, what are you entering? I think what happens sometimes is like you have these publications that, like us, we're really small, right? We're kind of building it up, but you have some publications that are small, and I think they see it as their chance to like, let's blow up the traffic, let's do this. Where it's like, well, you want to build a good rapport over time, right? It's better to over time than to try to get that spike of like, there's this exclusive, exclusive content that we can't get anywhere else. And then if you were saying, Dalan, that it was 30 of them, it only takes one, the levee breaks, and then they're like, wait, why can't we publish this also? So actually, to end it on this, Lise, do you think that had one person broken it, maybe they had gone the suing route, but since one broke it and then 30 other followed suit, do you think that's maybe why you're saying they're being soft in this way? Because so many decided to break NDA?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, that's a good question, something to think about. Maybe if only one or two, they could have probably done it a little more quietly, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm of the mindset that when you sign an NDA, you know what it is. It's the acronym, non-disclosure agreement. You can't say, share, talk about anything that you're about to witness according to this document. So,
but up to
I don't think it was
because some of them are limited in time.
Well, yeah, but if you sign the NDA and then immediately share a video,
yeah, hey, dude, I would like to imagine they're in the middle of signing, and over here they're clicking on the side like upload,
hey, like go live on Twitch immediately.
Go live. They're over here clicking upload now, and then
they're
like
twitching themselves signing the NDA.
Yeah, so I think and they tell you the dates, from this date to this date, like so. I don't think what Dalan's saying that it was people that just didn't know that they were doing.
Yeah,
that.
I don't think that.
I think
either,
it was just And I don't think that it was a bunch of people that were like, "Hey, so let's all just do this at the same time, like 1, 2, 3."
Yeah.
I think it was just a bunch of people did it. They didn't realize that they were doing it. Like they just signed a thing and they thought they're signing to like sign up for the playtest, and maybe they just didn't. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. But no, man. I think it's definitely pay attention to that, man. Pay attention to that. And you know what? I think that's kind of what happens with the whole streaming culture and just kind of social media and stuff like that everything's public, right? So some of these people that are big, they blow up, and look, good for them. They got the charisma, they got whatever, right? They got an audience. I think they're like, whatever, I put everything up all the time, so why isn't this the same while they're over here signing this legal document, right?
Now, you know what you made me think of when you said that? When I was in school, in middle school, we would have, my English teacher would be like, all right, I'm going to give you this piece of paper and I want you to fill it out, but you better read it before you finish it. But, you know, people don't read the paper and they just start filling out the whole paper. And then at the very end, it says, don't fill out any of the lines previous to this, just put your name on it.
I mean, sure, Dalan, but I mean, you're talking about second grade algebra, dude, or math.
No, I'm talking about paying attention to the contracts that you're signing.
When you're 9 years old, Dalan, when you're 9 years old.
Hey, man, I was in middle school. I was like 14, but still, it was a lesson learned. That's the point. And I'm pretty sure everybody is supposedly taught this lesson, or at least I would think so in America.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know if they teach that same lesson in other countries.
Okay, America's the best country in the world. Okay, Dylan, that's fair. That was your statement.
America.
But yeah, Dylan, I mean, that was perfect 1-to-1, dude. We got a couple more stories here. Just little quick hits. Rocket League is gonna have an update. I think it's already up, possibly.
Yeah, it's up.
Rocket League at 120 hertz, 120 frames, and also Ratchet and Clank cars. I'm pretty hyped about it. I kind of want to see what 120 hertz, even though I believe Lee's has been hitting 120 frames or plus in Rocket League on PC.
Actually, yeah, the PC version already has 120 hertz up. So,
but can you let Louis speak though for a moment, Dalan? Though, like
I'm gonna cut you off, Carlos, and then I'm gonna let Louis speak. Go ahead, Louis.
Okay.
That was the cutoff.
Oh, you're gonna cut him off. Hey, Dalan said his piece, Louis. What you thinking about this?
All right. Yeah, it's been running at 120. I mean, like I was saying in the chat, my monitor set to 240, and then any app that just runs that will accept it as well. But I think Rocket League caps off at 120 or something.
So you've been enjoying 120 Rocket League this whole time?
Yeah, looks nice.
All right, but it's looks but feel too, right? I mean, I don't know how you can do it if you're playing on your keyboard, but
is it running faster?
I
mean, it looks smoother.
And no, dude, try it, Dalan. Do you have 120 hertz, Dalan? Try it, dude.
No, that's my problem. No. That's my problem is that my PC will run at 120 hertz, or at least for that game. But my TVs will not run at 120. So I will get those frame skips because it's trying to catch up and won't reach it.
Dude, I tried Destiny, like I was doing 30, 60, and 120, dude. The problem is, it's reactive and it's faster, but also other people are faster and reactive. So I don't know. It's kind of like you have to get used to it, but it definitely feels smoother. So Rocket League at 120, maybe that makes me a little bit of a better player. Maybe I could get to your guys' level. Maybe that's what I needed. I needed 120.
Are we gonna play Destiny?
At some point, yes. The next one on here, Last of Us 2. Cross-platform. So we're pretty hyped about that. The Last of Us 2 had some, someone found in their hidden multiplayer assets that they hint at a possible battle royale. So battle royale, everything. Luis, what do you think? You were a fan of the originals multiplayer, right? Did that need a battle royale? Or
factions? No, dude, I just want that game mode back. Like whatever they did on the original Last of Us, that was fun as hell. Like that faction, it was basically kind of, like search and destroy in the sense that you have one life to live. I think it was like 4v4, 5v5 maybe. And throughout the map, you just kind of have to pick up resources and craft on the go. So, yeah, that was a really fun, intense game mode. I know we played it maybe once, maybe twice.
A couple times. But so Battle Royale, nah. That's how likely is it that they do that?
I don't know if it would be like I don't think it would be like large scale battle royale if they did. If they did, then maybe they could pull it off. But maybe it would be like a lobby of 10, 15 people, and then last one alive, But
yeah, because I mean, if you think like Last of Us, and they're dropping out of a plane or something like that, right? It's I mean, and that's a game that it kind of takes itself seriously, right? You could say there's a little bit of humor sprinkled out, but it's they're making a drama, right? They're making an action drama type of game. You can't really have them dropping off into an island or something like that, right? I would assume it's kind of like everyone has their spawn point and it's like, okay, 15. I think that would be how they should do it, right? Like a small.
Maybe they could do. Maybe the way they set it up is everyone goes to the on a boat to an island or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. A little Suicide Squad ish, where they're all kind of come. One is the decoy team. That's a big spoiler though, huh? My bad. Dalan, what do you think of this, man? Battle Royale in Last of Us 2, possibly.
I think people are just trying to create hype for it. And if anything, if they do that type of multiplayer in any respect, it's going to be closer to what Uncharted's multiplayer was. So I think that's the route that they may end up going rather than Battle Royale. Because if they do Battle Royale in Last of Us 2, that's the dumbest thing in the world.
I understand if you're saying like, oh, it's just speculation. But they're saying that they actually found like in the multiplayer assets, like that would be the code, Lise? Am I correct on this? That would be in the code or the assets?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what they found. I didn't actually like see it.
Okay.
He said, I wasn't good code breaking out there, Carlos. Leave me alone.
Well, whatever it is, they said they found it within the game, right? Whatever the assets or whatever.
The game files.
Yeah. So it's not just speculation. It is speculation, right? But they found it within the game itself, within the game code or the game itself. So, but would you be down for Battle Royale, Dalan?
Of Last of Us 2? No, I have enough issues with the mechanics they already got for their multiplayer.
All of a sudden, okay. So
it is a little all of a sudden in this case, but I'm still like, nah, I don't want more people on the field when it's already difficult enough doing 3v3 or 4v4.
Dalan's a multiplayer Halo, and but that's fine. Dalan, you threw this one on here. Don't you? I see it in the rundown. Tell us about this, man. Quick story, and then we'll move on to what you've been playing.
Yeah, quick story. The demo for Tales of Arise is now available, and the actual official release for the game is September 10th. But I got a chance to play this demo, and
so it's what you've been playing. It's what you've been playing.
It's not just what you've been playing.
Blowing your load, Dalan.
No, but go ahead. We're into what you've been playing now, Dalan. You just need to tell us about it.
All right, fine. Well, no, I'm not even gonna go deep into it. I was just gonna say, for an RPG, if you actually do like a good RPG with a good storyline, then unless they can fix some of the fundamental acting issues in this game, then you might want to skip out on the story for this one.
Wait, what does the demo tell you? You will be buying this when it drops next month in a few weeks?
What I'm hoping is that they fix the fact that in all the other Tales games recently, they have voice acting pretty much throughout the game. In this demo, they cut out the voice acting for most of it. The only time that they actually talk is in battle, which is normal for most RPGs. And then there are these little.
I hope some of what they're yelling. Skits. I hope some of what they're yelling is, "I'm a member of Stars. I'm a member of Stars."
When Jill shows up, I'm sure she'll say it.
Okay.
But outside of that, it's just a matter that outside of battle, I expect to actually hear some good voice acting and good lip syncing. But they're really messing it up. They're right there. So I'm hoping that they'll fix that by the time the game comes out. Or maybe the voice acting isn't finished yet, or they're polishing it and they just didn't put it in this demo. But it was time for the voice
that's what I was about to say, man. I think they put this demo out to try to convince people, Dalan. So if you're, I don't know if you're gonna hope in the next month. This thing's already done, probably, man.
I'm on the fence about it right now. If that voice acting is gone most of the way, then I'm not sure.
But the gameplay is good, right? The gameplay, or even
the battle was smooth. They got new mechanics for the battle system, and I just got to get used to attacking enemies with my R1 button instead of circle or square. So that was definitely.
But that wouldn't be good enough, I guess, for you to play the game. The gameplay itself wouldn't be good enough. You don't think?
No, it's for the Tales series. The draw was not specifically the battle. It was actually more about the story and the world building that they had. And if you have to read the entire story, it's not as enjoyable as listening to it with as good voice acting. Because I know you played Final Fantasy VII. You don't want to sit there reading all those text box.
You don't.
I mean, people going back to Final Fantasy 1, but I'm not trying to read all those text boxes.
Well,
it takes my eyes away from the action on the screen.
Yeah, so I hope you don't have... I don't know if you saw it, Dalan.
Damn, you froze up on me. I don't know what you said.
Oh, I'll repeat real quick for Dalan's purposes. I don't know, Dalan, if you know, but I'm pretty sure they announced when this demo dropped, it was like, we're gold. We went gold. So, that's really much you're gonna... I'm messing with you. I don't think they did that, but a month, dude, you're hoping for a lot. You're hoping for a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when this demo...
You're having flashbacks to Back for Blood right now. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Dalan, so look, you guys, I think played the same game here, so we'll go with you for Little Nightmares first, Dalan, and then you and Luis kind of played the same game, I believe. What'd you think of Little Nightmares?
Oh, good.
Well,
job.
You called it differently. You guys put different.
Yeah, I
names
know. I used the proper name. He did not, for sure.
So,
but
let's go with Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares. I didn't know that game was going to be so creepy.
It's creepy.
It's dark and it's that enjoyable claymation. But I did have to figure out the buttons and figure out what was going on. I didn't even know that there were little things that you could find to break. I didn't know you could pick nothing up and break things. I didn't know they wanted you to light all the candles along the way. So hey, if you see candles or little lantern urns in Little Nightmares, light them. If you see little, I don't even remember what those little dolls are called. Those ones from Russia where you got them popping out of each other.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it looks like one of those, but you got to find those and break them. So look for those two things if you're playing through this game, because I did not know that right off the bat, but I was lighting them anyway. I didn't care. I was breaking everything I could.
It's creepy. I thought it was gonna be like a horror type of game, but it's creepy, but it's doable. It's not necessarily like too scary. It's more creepy than like super scary, I guess.
Hey, it builds up some serious tension when that guy with the long arms is chasing you.
Oh, trust me, there's moments where it's like, oh damn, I gotta turn this off. I gotta come back to this. But I what got you into Little Nightmares, man? Because I just played through 1 and 2 recently.
Yeah, I know that I needed to play it. I've had it in my library. I'm trying to go through some of my backlog, and Little Nightmares popped in there, so there it goes.
They're pretty cool. I don't know if they're necessarily like top tier games, but they're nice. They're nice little platformers.
Little short games.
Especially, yes, that's especially what I liked about them. They're short, very short.
I'm glad to hear that.
You're like, I'm about to be done with this.
No, I'm gonna try and beat it, but I don't know if it was a long game. I don't know if I was gonna jump to 2, because I need to play Unravel at some point as well. I want to.
Unravel's pretty good too, man. And Unravel 2, they're both short too. Unravel games are pretty short too. But I would say try 2. I'd like to see your thoughts on 2 as well. If you
let me get through 1. Slow your roll, Carlos. Okay. Slow your roll.
But I actually, I will say this: Little Nightmares 2 is one I platinum, and I almost sort of feel like it's kind of like a Trine. I played Trine 2 or 3, and I platinumed that game, and I hated every moment of it, and I still was like, let me get every trophy. That's definitely one of those games where like, I'm not having fun, but I'm gonna still get all these trophies.
I'm not having fun.
But at least Little Nightmares 2, the actual experience of the actual gameplay of it is fun. It just makes it a little hard to get some of the trophies, but for whatever reason, I was like, I'm gonna grab these. You've been playing something else, and you and Lisa have been playing this game. He calls it a rat tail Innocence, but what is its actual name, Dalan, please?
According to my wife Nicole, it's Vermintide.
Okay,
but a Plague Tale Innocence, because upcoming next, it's going to be released at some point soon. A Plague Tale Requiem, which is I believe it's part 2. That trailer is out. But that game was actually pretty excellent. Don't get me wrong. The boss fights were something to be desired in regards to mechanics or just puzzle solving there.
Luis, you haven't beaten it, right? Yet, Luis?
No.
Okay,
if this means anything to you, Dalan, I just got past the church.
Okay, Dalan.
Okay, that does mean something to me. So did you fight the guy in the armor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a bit confusing at the start.
Yeah, because for the guy in the armor, you had to Spoiler alert for anybody who wants to close their ears. But you got to knock the rings off of his army in order to get his helmet off. And that was a pretty awesome experience to try and have to figure that out. But throughout the rest of the game, there's not really anything like that. So unfortunately, that's why I was like, it's something to be desired. But
spoilers.
But the puzzles for the end game, like the rest of the game itself, and the way they keep giving you new materials and new weapons to be able to use and try and progress through the environments, it's still an excellent game. Right after you get past the first chapter, you can get past the like PS4, PS3 era graphics. The game, it turns out to be this just beautiful game. You start to actually like the characters, and along the way, you're like, I don't want nobody to die here. They make you feel for these people.
Guys, you guys got me kind of hyped for this, man. I gotta check this out at some point.
It's a good game, Carlos, and I think you'd enjoy it. It's a short game. You can get through it pretty easily. I played it like 4 or 5 times.
Is it short? Is it short? Or how long is it, Dalan? About?
I put a couple of hours into it trying to beat this game. Right?
Okay. A couple. Wait. A couple means 2, but I know people don't use a couple like that.
All right, so I put a few hours into it each time I played.
Okay.
How about that? So I'd say if you're taking your time and looking for stuff, even if you don't want to platinum it,
I'm not.
CriticalPath.com. I was still trying to critical path. I wasn't going off and trying to find stuff. It was just stuff I was looking at. I was like, oh, I want that material. Let me figure out how to get it.
Well, look, I will say this. Luis guilt tripped me to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm glad you did, though, because that's an epic game, dude. Like, in the truest sense of the word, that game was like, it was pretty good, dude. It was epic as hell. I don't know why I didn't play through it. I made a mistake. But he guilted me to play that, and you guys are guilting me to play this one, too. I
will honestly say it was a very fun game. Luis, and I'm even more stoked to play part 2.
Luis, your thoughts, man, on the or is it kind of the same?
Yeah, this is a game that's been on. I bought this on my Xbox One like a year and a half ago. I never played it. And then it got free on PlayStation Plus, and then I didn't play it on there. And it was on Xbox Game Pass on PC. So I finally
played it. It's a sign, dude. It's like you gotta play it at some point, man.
Like, this game is actually good. It keeps getting released because it actually good.
So far, are you as hyped with it from
I'm
to the
building up there. I'm building up to that point. I understand what Dalan. If Dalan hadn't said what he said last week on what you've been playing, where he's like, I started playing the game, the controls just seemed like super funky and like it was weird, it was hard to handle. After you get past like the first 2 chapters, which are basically a tutorial, then you're like, oh, this makes perfect sense. Like, this is how the game plays.
The way that they laid it out, it actually makes sense after that.
All right. I'll mess with it.
But yeah, so far I'm liking it. I'm getting into the story. I was pleasantly surprised when they threw in a crafting table out of nowhere. I was like, oh snap! Okay, let's.
Oh wait, whoa! No, see, that gets you hyped, please. That gets you hyped. That does not get me hyped, dude.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna upgrade anything. Don't.
Yeah, it's not like you gotta go out and like break down trees. You're not hunting and gathering or nothing like that.
It's all on your way there.
Think more like Last of Us. Think more like Last of Us. Is that type of crafting?
They did a good job, but we're talking about like masterpiece games here, dude. That Last of Us. Most games do crappy crafting.
Okay. You just find stuff on the way there, and then a crafting table appears. You're like, okay, I guess I'll do this.
Okay,
it's not like
all right, that's fair. So that's a rat tail Innocence, or Vermintide, or as the rest of the world knows it, Plague Tail Innocence. I played a little bit more Psychonauts. I don't have too much more to say on it except that it's still a trip. The last boss that I did is like a critic, which they do very like interesting. It's interesting, trippy things in this game. The graphics are still like very upsetting, but I gotta remember it's like from 2005 or something, right? But there's things that upset me about it.
Meta.
There are things that upset me about it, but the skeleton, the bones of it, the story is still there and it's still pretty damn good. And just real quick on the last boss that I was playing was a critic, a legitimate like play theater critic or whatever. He's
like Isco,
yes,
Cisco
and
Ebert.
The whole time he's talking crap, he's like, "This is crap. You don't know how to jump. You don't know how to do anything." And he's throwing words at you, saying like serviceable, or this is bad, this is terrible.
He said serviceable.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Hey, if you guys go back at my reviews, I'm pretty sure I've used serviceable like quite a few times. So I enjoy that one. I guess that one struck a chord with me. But I'm still playing through it. I'm definitely trying to get through it till the 2 comes out next week, and I'm kind of excited for it just to like hopefully get past the 2005 jankiness and graphics, and I hope they did because it's a little rough in edges. One of the main things that I've noticed with this one is I forgot how like 3D platformers were like collectathons, dude. Like the action stops because I have to go pick up 100 dumb like crystals and all this other crap. I'm like, why? It's like they don't make games like these. And actually this got me thinking about how like, you know how people go back to the arcade games, they were so much better. NES, SNES. It's like some still hold up. A lot of them were
yell about that one.
A lot of them are still like definitely like products of their time, right? Like they're definitely like, what the hell were we playing? This was some bullshit. So
Spyro the Dragon, you just running around picking up little flowers.
Like, and that's the gameplay, dude. And like that's the gameplay. So it's definitely one of those things where it has its annoyances, but I still want to play through it, and I'll just put up with it because just the story's so cool and so trippy, and I'm looking forward to what they do with the second one. So if anybody's interested, I still feel like play through it. I don't know how much it ties into the second one, but I think it sets up the concept nice enough if you play this one. Even if you don't play it all the way through, at least play like through 1 or 2 bosses, and you know, you'll understand what they're gonna go for in the second one. But that's what you've been playing for this week. The zinger for this week, WarioWare, Get It Together. That demo is up on the US eShop, or just the eShop, I'm assuming. Those are like dumb little mini games. I've played them before. I think I played most of them before, and I play them for like an hour or 2, but they're always dumb and trippy, so I'm kind of hyped about touching the demo, getting it together. What about you guys? You guys care about will you guys give at least a demo a shot, Luis?
I don't even know what it is.
Give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the release titles, I think, on the Wii, right? Like way back.
Yeah, if not like day one, it must have been like a month after or something like that.
Yeah, but it's just a series of a bunch of mini games. It's not like Mario Party. It's just like
is it like that 52 game that we have, whatever it is?
No. It's complete. It's different. It's a bunch of dumb little trippy mini games that it gives you like 3 seconds to figure out what's going on. Like it's like it really like it gives you like, or 5 seconds or whatever, really quick. Like oh damn, I was supposed to pull that string, and that was it. And it gives you another mini game. And I was like,
it sounds like little quick puzzles.
Yeah, because sort of, but
teasers and stuff.
Sort of, but it goes really quick, really fast. It's Wario, he's wacky. And so I, just as an example, it's like, put a towel over this, or do that, or brush this, but it gives you very quick moments of that. So I'm gonna try it, man. I mean, I don't know how much they're trying to sell this for or whatever, but I'm gonna give that a shot.
Well, I guess this is why Nintendo was asking, do you guys like WarioWare?
Oh yeah, they're trying to build it up. So that's out. Also, we talked about 12 minutes earlier. I'm kind of hyped, man. It has James McAvoy, and it has a couple other actors actually, like big time actors. So that's definitely one I'm gonna put the headphones on.
Kojima approved.
Oh, and yeah, and Kojima like retweeted or talked about it. So hey, I'm down. I saw some of the reviews on it. They're it sort of has some good reviews, and some are like, they're not feeling it. But sometimes those are the best kind of games, right? And it's on Game Pass. It's for free, quote, in asterisks. 12 minutes is dropping. Like I said, it has big actors on there, big voice actors. Also, Ghost of Tsushima, the Iki Island expansion drops also. Are you guys trying out those? Dalan, you trying out 12 minutes, Ghost of Tsushima expansion? You grabbing
I'm going to try out 12 minutes, and I saw Ghost of Tsushima on the store earlier today, so I think it's up already. But that said, when you were talking about 12 minutes, it makes me think of those movies that I watch where the entire film is just filmed in one room, and it's an excellent movie.
Yeah, it's sort of that vibe. Yeah, it's sort of that vibe. They've really only made a few of those movies, dude. You can't be having too many of those. You can't be having too many of those movies.
Hey, man, if it's good, I don't care. Let me watch it.
All right. What about you, Luis? 12 minutes, Ghost of Tsushima expansion?
Yeah, I'm checking out 12 minutes, and now is the perfect time to play Ghost of Tsushima for the first time on PlayStation 5, bro.
Now that everything is incorporated, and you get to spend an extra $20 to play it.
Hell yeah. Hey, it's got the haptics on the triggers, man. Come on.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
You're in for a treat. If you thought that, if you think that a Rat's Tail is fun, then you're gonna very much enjoy it.
It plays exactly the same. Oh, dude, if you Sucker Punch, if you like the infamous games like Cooper and all that, it's they control just the same. You're gonna have the ninja controlling like the damn Sly Cooper over here. So that's the show for this week. Carlos Macias, your host of this here fine program. Thank you guys for joining us. Like and subscribe and the rest. Dalan Kirkwood from up in the mountains, thank you for joining us again, sir, as per usual.
We're dealing with it. We
were definitely putting out some fires before we got on the show, but I'm glad that we got on here and we made it. Luis, thank you for joining us again. He's the man on the wheels of steel here.
Of course, yeah. All right, slapped it together, making it work.
Slapping it together.
All right, see you guys next time. Latest.